Hello, welcome to this latest video, and this is building on our last video where we looked at the results of the Poisson pack in terms of the win draw win market and what sort of profit we were making, if any, on the selections that were thrown up by the Poisson pack. So as you can see here, we had the bold selections were, ignore that. That's because I'll explain why that is. That is because I don't use this computer. It's my old computer that I've had to switch so that I can use a microphone, because you might have saw somebody very helpfully put a comment, get better equipment, as in, I'm guessing they mean the sound quality wasn't great. My new computer hasn't got a USB port. My microphone is a USB microphone, so I'm having to use my old computer so that I can use the microphone, because I need to get better equipment otherwise, and I don't want to buy any more. So that's why there's been no power backup and whatever. Sorry, I digress. So yeah, we looked at the teams in bold, or the selections in bold, were the ones that the Poisson pack had suggested had value. Then we looked at whether they had won or lost in the results, and we came up with a nice tidy profit. So what I've done now is look at the correct score market, the Dutchin, which we've looked at before, and it's something that I've left alone for a while, to be honest. And I don't know why, because when I look at it now, the results are remarkable. So we're looking at the same set of matches from June. We've got a few extra, because I think I've updated it since the last one. I may have. I'm not sure. We're a couple of days probably behind, because I had to stop recording them so I could make the video, because the figures kept changing. So what we've done is we've gone through all the matches again, and as you can see, I've recorded the correct score column here. And let me just explain how I've done this. There might be other ways to do it, but this is the way I've decided to do it. So as we can just open an example one from the 21st, as you can see, the Poisson pack gives you the 5 most likely correct scores and the percentages here as well. And then what we can do is use the Dutchin calculator, which I've actually got here, I think, but I haven't filled it in. So you put the Betfair odds in here if you want to. You don't have to. You can use an online Dutchin calculator. People tell me there's one on Betfair and I can never quite find it. I found it on the sportsbook, not on the exchange, so I'm not sure about that. So you put that in, and it says if your total stake is 10, this is what you need to put in to realise a profit of £9.67, whatever the outcome, according to it, as long as it's one of those scores. If you put those figures at those odds, you're going to get £9.67 back. So basically, I went through a few of them and decided that on average, the scores that we were putting in, the average profit, if we were putting £1 on each score, so £5 per match, so your total outlay for each game is £5 on the correct score market. 5 scores, you're roughly putting £1 on each one, aren't you? But it will be divided up according to the Dutchin, but the overall stake will be, so that's 10, it'll be £5. So if you lose, if none of your scores come in, you're going to be £5 down, -5. And I won't know exactly what the score, what the amount will be for each game, because each game will be a different profit percentage, profit point, obviously, because if you're betting on a game with high odds and like sort of more unlikely score lines and you get one come in, you're going to get a higher payout than if you bet on 1-0, 0-0, 0-1, 2-1, you're probably going to get a lower payout. So I had a look at it, and roughly speaking, I think we can say that we were about evens. I think the profit would be about evens, and that's because if you win one of those bets, you're going to get about, say, £10 back, 10 points back from any of the score lines, but then you've got to take your £5 stake off, or 5 point stake off, so you're left with around 5. That might be a bit skinny, to be honest. You're probably going to get a bit more, but on some of them you will get a bit less. So I've gone for 5 because I don't want to be looking like I'm inflating the figures. I hope that makes sense. So if any of the selections win, I've put down 5, and if they lose, I've put down -5 points. And we can have a look here, and what I've done is I've gone through and separated them out by home, draw and away, so we can see what the sort of difference was. So just pick some at random. So Medellin versus Envigado, it finished 2-1. We got that as one of the correct scores. So what I've been doing is going back through all of the spreadsheets, checking. So was that Envigado? Yeah, 2-1 was there, so that's a win. So we're going to put 5 for the profit there. So that's how it's been done, and all the results are on the spread on the website if you do want to double check them. So 5 there. ignore that. We can ignore that for now because that's the win draw win market. So that's what we're looking at there. So this Boston River one, it finished 1-2. So I've gone back to have a look at that, and 1-2 wasn't one of the 5 top score lines suggested. So we've lost £5 there because we've bet £5 on the correct score and got nothing back. So I've gone through them all and I've separated them by home, draw, and away, just so that we can have a bit more data really. And I've hidden them here just to keep the suspense going. So if we look at the home ones, these are the home matches. There were 113 matches, and 59 of those won. So these are matches where the home team won, and we had a correct score. A look at the correct score. So 113 matches. That's a 52% win rate, and the profit and loss turned out at 25 level stake profit points. So we were 25 points up on all of them, and the return on investment 5%. So not too bad, not amazing, not too bad. If we look at the draws, now this is where it gets really interesting, and this isn't to do with betting on draws as it is with the MBM draw system, because it's, well, I'll explain why it's quite different. So this is the away ones. The away ones worked out exactly even. So there were 62 matches, 31 wins. So 31, we got the correct score. Obviously a win rate of 50%, and we had a broke even, so we wiped our nose with that. So there was nothing really going on with that. And then so we also looked at the draws. A bit fiddly this, isn't it? So the draws, look at this. This is staggering. 83 matches, 62 wins, a win rate of 75%. Profit and loss of 205 level stakes points, and a return on investment of 49%. So for the return on investment, we're doing 83 times 5, because that's how much we're outlaying in total. If we bet on every match, all of those draws, so 83 draws, bet a 5 on each one, we're getting 205 level stakes profit. So we're working out the ratio by 83 divided by 205 times 100. We're getting 49%. I mean, that's a hell of a good return, I'm sure you'll agree. So I thought about this and I thought, so how is it so good at predicting draws? And I guess really it's not that it's so good at predicting draws, but there's a lot of the matches will have the draw covered in it. So it's 1-1 there, you've got 1-1 and 0-0 there. You often got more than one draw scoreline suggested. So 0-0, 1-1. So even though there might be a short favourite in some of the matches, so the value odds are suggesting 1.76 for Newell's in that game, for example. So that's a real short favourite, but it's still got the 1-1 and the 2-2. So basically, what it means is that in almost every game, you're having the draw as insurance. If you're betting, so you might be betting on the team that you think are going to win 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, 1-4. But then you've also got 2-2. So if things go a little bit west and sort of start to go in a different direction, the favourite goes behind, you've still got that draw covered. So they might not get back to win, but you've got the draw covered. If you're betting on a win, if you're betting on a win, either way, you're not getting as many score lines covered. So you've got 2-1, 3-1, 2-0, but you haven't got anything for the away win there, but you have got the draws. You've got 2 draws. Again, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and 2 draws. You haven't got anything on the away. So you're not getting, if you've got an away favourite or a home favourite, you're probably not going to get many scores the complete opposite. So if the home favourite is a short favourite, you're probably not going to get many scorelines suggested where the away team wins, but you will get the draws. And the same if the away team is a short favourite, you will still get draws, but you won't get home. So that explains a little bit, in my convoluted way, why I think that the draws are so good and so strong. And so if we have a look at the overall profit and loss, you can see that there were 258 matches, 152 of them we got the correct score. So we're giving ourselves 5 chances, aren't we, of getting that correct score by dutching it. We're not saying we're getting the correct score. We're betting on a spread of 5 likely scores based on the data, and 59% of the time they come in. And overall we had 230 level stakes profit. We had the 205 from there and the 25 from there. We didn't get any for there. And that's 18% overall. So obviously the 49 is pulled down by the 5 and the 0. But I mean, I was, when I first started to do this video, I wasn't going to bother splitting them up. I was just going to say, look at this, it's 230 level stakes profits. But I thought, to be honest, I wanted to interrogate it a little bit because I thought it was too good to be true. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't overselling what was going on here. And so I wanted to break it down. And it is interesting. So you could look further into it, couldn't you, and say I'm only going to bet on matches where there's a draw. So that would be 83 matches where the draw came in. But it wouldn't be quite as simple as that, because there'd be obviously matches where the draw didn't come in, but it would still be there. I think nearly every single game has got a draw scoreline. So you're probably always going to have a draw scoreline. When they do come in, they're going to be decent odds. So whereas the home ones, you're looking at sort of, I don't know, some of the home favourites can be sort of as short as 1.4 or something. Sometimes you can get on some of the bookies. I'm seeing if there's any here. I don't think there's any. Oh yeah, see 1.4. So if that comes in, you're not really that excited about it. Whereas if the draw comes in at 1-1, you're getting much better odds in the win-draw-win market. But then obviously, actually that's irrelevant, isn't it? Because we're not betting on the win-draw-win market. I apologise. Basically, look, these are the results. It's really good, isn't it? It's something that I've now started to take more interest in, and sort of realise that really it was a good strategy to start. You know, I sort of lost my way with it because I was concentrating on the draws, concentrating on the possum pack, and I sort of let the correct scores go by the wayside. But I think if you look at what's going on there, you could whittle it down, couldn't you, and say I'm only going to bet on sort of 3 of those scorelines, and that's something that I'm going to do as well. I'm going to go through and see the numbers of each scoreline that have come in, and I mean I think it's pretty obvious. You can probably say if you bet on 1-0 both ways, 1-1, 2-1 both ways, that's 5 scorelines. You'd probably win the vast majority of them because you're covering the draw and you're covering both ways. So yeah, I won't ramble too much, but I think it's pretty exciting. Basically, this is just for June alone, so 230 level stakes points from betting on. Don't get me wrong, this is a hell of a lot of matches. So I'm not saying are you really going to bet a fiver on 258 matches. Some people will. Some people have got that bankroll. I personally wouldn't be in the position to bet £5 on 258 matches. But if you are, you know, it's not for me to say that nobody will. But you could only do 3 matches if you want. So anyway, I'll let you come to your own thoughts. Give me some comments and let me know what you think. Alright, cheers, bye.